Let's get started, y'all. February 18th started. Go ahead and begin. Okay. Hopefully, whew. I don't remember writing this one, but I did. I wrote it. All right, let's take a look. Which of the following is true based on 93 Rwandan genocide dehumanization? Ooh, the Hutu used mostly TV and social media to communicate their hatred for the Tutsis. Hutus were encouraged to marry Tutsi so their children would be Hutu, and the Tutsi were constantly referred to as cockroaches, and Tutsi children were treated the same as Hutu children. All right, so choose all the ones that are correct there, and we're gonna move on. No retakes on these. No retakes. All right. All right, give you all a minute to finish that up. All right, y'all should be done with the starter. Let's go to the summary page. Today, it is the same, but take a close look at the asynchronous work that we're looking at today. Okay, today we're going to continue to identify basic information related to the Rwandan genocide. Okay, but the things that are different here is complete 94 survivors and aftermath. Okay, and then the ticket out the door. Okay, so those are the things that we're focusing on today. Your asynchronous work is to complete page 94. So everybody go to page 94 right now. 94. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. You should have page 94. Let me know if you do not. I attempted to distribute it this morning, so everybody should have it before class began, and I hope you do. Okay, so let's take a look. So here's what we're going to do. I got tons of videos today that I want to show y'all because there's absolutely no way I can communicate, right, the experience and things any better than people that were there and that experienced it themselves. So that's the focus. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to show some videos here. Now, I just want to be clear. This is tough content. This is tough content. It's stuff we shouldn't have to teach because it's stuff that should never have happened. But it's stuff we need to know so we can do our part to prevent it from happening again. Okay, that's the only reason that I feel like it's necessary that we hear these stories and we learn about the Rwandan genocide, like we learn about the Holocaust, that we learn about these absolutely horrid, terrible events. Okay, so I just want y'all to know that. I know this isn't easy stuff. I know it's hard. Okay, but I feel it is necessary so we can get in the way of these things happening again. All right, in some capacity. So the expectation here, the first three, they're super short videos. I want you to write just one sentence summarizing each survivor's story. Okay. We'll start here, and so here's where you'll write that sentence, right, in that space there, and then at the end you're going to write what did the three stories have in common and what was different. What did they have in common and what was different? And you'll put that in that last one there. All right, here we go. They're quick, so be ready.
noneho basifuye umuntu adukubita ahita nkubita umuhoro ahangaha nyine mubona ankubita umuhoro mu mutwe. Kuva icyo gihe sinongeye kumva nijoro mu gicuku imvura irimo kugwa nkangutse sinzi ukuntu nagize gutya niba ari shobora kuba nari mvuye muri koma ubu nibwo byibuka nkategeza ko nari naguye muri koma noneho aho nkangukiye mu gicuku ngerageza kuvuga nti iyi mirambo yose iri ahangaha nkajya ndeba ngerageza kureba nkabona kwa kundi ubona inka ziba ziryamye ahantu mu rugo ari nyinshi cyane ariko ari imirambo iryamye aho ngaho. ndavuga nti ngerageza guhaguruka, nahaguruka nazamuka najya kugera ahangaha ariko hagati aho nkumva umugongo urimo urandya nkagira ngo ni impiri umuhini bankubisemo unca umugongo. noneho nza kugera aho ngaho ngerageza guhaguruka inshuro nk'icumi, najya kugera hagati aho ngaho nkikubita hasi, najya kugerageza kugenda nkumva ntibishoboka ariko sinkamenye ko bantemye mu mugongo. ubu n'ahangaha mu mugongo hose harimo inkovu, sinzi niba umuntu yazibereka. aha hose bari batemye bashakaga gucamo kabiri n'ahangaha. noneho ubwo kutabasha guhaguruka nuko bari banciyemo kabiri mu by'ukuri. kubabara sinzi niba nari nkibabara ntihari nabaye igiti gusa icyo nibuka cyo nuko nasaga nabi cyane, nari igisimba. atunaga aho ngaho ku muryango w'ibitaro, abandi bose baza bakukumba batwara. shiduka nsigaye muri sare jyenyine n'ako kana kambaga hafi, ifite icyo yadushigarije. icyo rero nicyo tugomba kwerekana, guharanira kubaho tukabaho kandi nzi neza ko tuzabaho ngiye uko byagenda kose.
Right, that's the first one. Just write a sentence summary of that first one, please. Okay, sentence of that first one. Go ahead and begin now.
I wish you could live forever. Wish you would never ever have to feel pain. Hope you stay away from sin. I wish you nothing but love. Hope you'll never feel lost. Wish I could explain why some things ain't the same. I hope that you find somebody and that somebody loves you unconditionally and never puts a thing above you. I wish you never get cheated on or betrayed. Wish you learn from every single one of your mistakes. Hope one day you'll find peace within yourself. I do. Cause the only one you truly ever stuck with is you. Hope you never gotta hide who you really are. Wish you find a passion and you able to go really far. Hope that in your life you'll never make a single.
All right, let's transition to video number 2 here. Video number 2.
kiriya gihe umuntu ukuntu njye nakibonaga cyari igihe cyo bashakaga, urebye leta yari iriho yashakaga ko abantu bagerageza babakanguriraga kwangana, bagakangurira abantu kwereka ko atari umwe. nibwo batangiye kuvuga cyane ibintu ngo umuntu ni inzoka, bamwe ni inzoka, ngo udafite izuru ryajyamo intoki eshatu ntabwo ari umunyarwanda, nta gaciro afite mu Rwanda. Mbese icyo gihe cyari igihe navuga ngo cy'umwijima, cy'ubugome bwinshi cyane. hariho agace kari gatuye inyuma y'iwacu, hari muri segiteri imwe, ariko hari agace kari gatuwe n'abahutu ahantu bita Kagoma n'ahantu bita Zanganwa na Kiganwa. ni hari hafi aho ngaho, ariko ho hari ahantu hatuwe cyane n'abahutu. rero ugasanga bakanguriraga na bagenzi babo batabyumva, kubereka ko twebwe imiryango yacu atari abantu, kubereka ko nta gaciro dufite. mbese kugerageza, icyo navuga mu magambo make, byari nko gutesha agaciro abatutsi. nicyo cyakorwaga muri kiriya gihe. kiriya gihe.
All right, write a sentence summary of Emmanuel's survivor story, please, and kind of his main topics. And again, I'm just looking for one overall sentence summarizing the main idea of what these individuals are saying. Okay, go ahead and do that now. I'll just give you a minute. Shouldn't take you too long.
enemy. Hope you'll never know the feeling of hatred or jealousy. Wish you get a taste of all the beautiful things the world got to offer. Would sacrifice myself in order for you to have it, but it's out of my hands. Wish there was something I could do, but it's out of my hands. No, it's out, yeah. Wish there was something I could do, but it's out of my hands. Wish there was something I could do, but it's out of my hands.
I hope that you never see the truth behind it all. May your view remain convoluted behind the fog. I hope you don't discover that you were just another imperfect yet on purpose designer flaw. I hope you never.
All right, let's continue here. Next one.
Before we know it, we started smelling smoke. It was one of our neighbors' house that was being burnt. I remember talking to my stepmother. I said, "What is this?" She said, "Don't ask. Tonight you have to wear all your clothes, as many as you can, and you're all going to sleep under the bed." So we did. We started going under the bed with a lot of clothes on, with so much fear. So much fear. What I went through is common. Somebody in Kabongia has gone through some of what I went through. Some Rwandese have gone through what I went through, even beyond. Somebody else in another part of the world is going through the same things. It's common.
All right, right, the next one, please. Next one, please. Be a minute.
Wrong, even when you are. Make yourself remain righteous through all your fights and soul. Cause everybody damaged, and you're the one exception. Better teacher than learner when the concern is lessons. May you reject objections for singular perspectives. You don't need glasses, just signs need to have lost their message. I hope you never fall, and you remember all the people who helped you climb that you claim were not involved. And when you reach your height, when you're the one and only, and feel lonely in parties cause we're your real homies. May somebody be stronger than your insecurities. I doubt it, but I hope you find a new me.
All right, so go ahead and answer that last question now on that first category here, because I need to get to this next video. But what did the three stories have in common, and what was different? Okay.
muratashye mwari mumaze igihe kinini hano mugomba kujya mu muryango mushobora gusanga hari ibyahindutse mugomba kubyitwaramo neza kugira ngo mutagira icyo ugarura hano sibyo
Kamonyi Jenoside.
For 19 years, Etienne Ndahimana has been serving time for his part in the brutal killing of more than 800,000 Rwandans. Ndahimana belongs to the country's majority ethnic group, the Hutus, who slaughtered Tutsis over the course of 100 days in 1994. Ndahimana says he killed 2 people, but he's just one of more than 1 million killers convicted in public tribunals called Gacaca courts. Prisoners are being released almost daily, and while most have moved back in with their families, some have moved to villages like this one.
We're walking through Guero Reconciliation Village. It's one of 8 of these type villages that exist across the country, where survivors of the genocide and killers live side by side. It's hard to understand why any survivor of the genocide would want to live next to one of their killers in one of these villages. Part of it is believing in reconciliation and forgiveness. It's a religious community, but part of it is that they receive free housing and livestock.
Maria was hiding in a bush with the youngest of her 4 children when the killing started.
Abahutu bamaze kwambara n'intwaro zabo basesekeye mu ngo z'abatutsi twahise twirukanka uko umugabo wanjye yapfuye n'abana nabimenye nyuma ngeze Burundi njye nanahunze nzi ko akiriho.
Do you know who killed your family?
Kubamenya abanyiciye nabamenye.
Do those people live around here?
Hari abahatuye. Hariya Philibert. Philibert ari hehe?
How did you kill Marie's husband and children?
Njye na bagenzi banjye nyine uko twari kuri bariyeri basanze dufite umupanga bakoreshejwe gusa abana bo batawe mu iyo simu ari bazima hatemwe abakuru abana batabwo ari bazima.
I think what most people can't understand is how can you kill children?
Kuko ari jenoside yateguwe tumva ko Umututsi uwo ari we wese utita ngo ni umugore cyangwa se n'umwana kwari gutsembaho.
It's hard for me to believe that the two of you can sit next to each other peacefully.
Amaze gufungurirwa nagize ikibazo cyo kumva ko Maria namuhemukiye naragiye musaba imbabazi arazimpa numva nje biranejeje.
Do you two get together because you live in this village, you're part of the program, people like us come to visit, or do you have a true relationship?
Kuba twarahujwe tugahura muri uyu mudugudu. Hani twahujwe n'umwe n'ubwiyunge. Mwene data kwibabwira n'ibintu kireka hari hano ni kure. Uyu ni inshuti yanjye. Philibert ndamukunda kandi warankunda.
If reconciliation still feels forced, that's because it is on some level. So is this national tradition, codified into law after the genocide.
So this is Umuganda. It happens once a month where everybody in the country comes together, no matter your background, and works to clean up their area. Everyone seems to be happy, positive, working together.
The man credited with returning stability to Rwanda is President Paul Kagame. He's led the country for almost 20 years.
Abantu iyo bakoreye hamwe iyo bafatanije bagera kuri byinshi bagera kure.
Today's Rwanda is not as pleasant for those who don't agree with Kagame. Opposition leader Victoire Ingabire was recently released from prison after being convicted of genocide denial, an arrest that came just as she was preparing to run for president against Kagame. And last month, her spokesman, Anselm Mutiamana, was found strangled to death, a day after neighbors saw him picked up by security officials.
By killing Anselm, do you think that somebody was sending you a message?
I can't live in a fire that I will be killed because my people need democracy. Our country needs the freedom. This we cannot be afraid and say we will not talk because we will be killed. These are the members of my political party who are in prison. There is the vice president. When he was arrested, he has to stop his job to come to take over my activity here.
Why were these members arrested?
The government accused them to form a military group.
Many people do say that you're a Hutu extremist, and many people say that this country is too fragile to have a candidate like you. What do you say to that?
No, that is the campaign from the government.
What is the bigger concern when it comes to the president squashing your political party, not letting you run for office, not allowing for freedom of expression?
The government, they say that because of genocide, it is not yet a time to open up political space. They are afraid that the people can again commit the genocide, but I don't agree with this argument. If the people are not free to criticize the political of the government, that is a big problem.
Others, even those in the business of open debate, think that's not worth the risk.
By the way, I love your set, the purple and yellow.
Ha.
Like the Lakers.
Like the Lakers.
Albert Rudatsimburwa owns one of the few private TV stations in the country. But even as a member of the media, he thinks that in order to maintain stability, the government is justified in cracking down on freedom of expression. How has President Kagame maintained the peace for the last 25 years?
It's to impose the peace, actually.
So tough leadership, what does that look like?
It's just that there are some red lines that you cannot cross.
Like what?
Open violence, insult, whatever.
Insult and open violence are different, though.
No, even open insult. You see, because you need to understand that prior, the build-up of the genocide, what's all about that? Hate media, hate speeches, hate messages.
What about opposition leaders like Ingabire, who attempted to run for president and ended up in prison?
These were people who wanted to join the club without going through the normal steps. You don't come out of the blue and claim that you want to do something.
So do you think that the country actually is too fragile to have a candidate like that?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. We are only 25 years, not even a full generation. So you don't play with that.
Hey, bro. Umuntu uyiriho wese ko atazagerageza gukora jenoside kuko ari icyaha cy'indengakamere isi yose itemera. Ingaruka yo gufungwa ndi umwana nkavamo ndi umusaza urumva ko nari ingaruka urabona nk'ahangaha urabona ko twari twahayobewe.
All right, so take a look. Here are the questions that I want you to answer. Do you agree with the steps Rwanda is taking in healing as a country? For me, if I'm looking at that video, I see two different things, two different steps. I see the reconciliation villages and the Gacaca courts, all right, and the people being released and living with the people side by side, being friends with the people that killed their family, which is still just, I love the idea of reconciliation and forgiveness, but that still just blows my mind, right? And then do you agree with those steps? But then you can also look at Paul Kagame and what the opposing side views as a lack of freedom of speech and expression and political freedom. Those steps as well, because maybe the country's too fragile. They can't handle it yet. And that's their argument. So those are two steps, in my opinion, that you can look at, and you can write about each of those or one of those. And then the second question, okay, what should the point of a justice system be? I like looking at Rwanda as an example. Should it be to punish the people almost like equally for what they did, or rehabilitation, trying to help them and reconcile and forgive? I mean, I don't know if I'm prepared to answer these questions. You know, you go any direction. I can go any direction, you know, with any of that. But I want you to answer those questions during asynchronous time. Asynchronous time, please. All right, let's go the ticket out the door. Let's go the ticket out the door. All right, take it out the door here. Excuse me. All right, y'all. Objective, unit, statement of inquiry, and asynchronous work.